I don't even make the hello. Hello everyone and welcome to another stream. We are talking today about Batman from Inart. I'm joining here with Man of Hot Collectibles, my friend Dante. How are you, my friend? Oh, it's nice to hear your voice.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing.
I know. No, thank you, man, for the invite. I know it was a last minute thing. I don't know how you do it, man. Like I'm kind of concerned about your health right now because you're not sleeping, and we're gonna have a show with Riley in an hour or so. So I'm concerned about your stability at this
No, I'm
time.
okay.
But
I'm
always happy
okay.
to be here, man, and see the boys here in the chat and you guys at home.
You know how they say is I do everything for the community. And we
Yeah.
have also with us my good friend Monica from Hong Kong. Like a Bantha, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm fine, man. How are you doing?
Everything is fine. And of course, 1 6 weeks Marco. Uh, you just finished working? Well, I don't know what
This
time is in your side now.
yeah, this is my lunch break. I'm taking an early lunch break today to hop on with y'all.
Amazing,
So yeah, got some
amazing,
flexibility today. Thank you for
amazing.
having me.
No, it's you. You know you are always welcome. But we were talking about this Inart Batman that was just announced today. There are a lot of skus with this Batman because I we were talking. There's about 5 or 6, and as we are going through these, we have a Bruce Wayne, a standard edition. Um, that do any of you really want just a Bruce Wayne for for your collection? Do you want? Do you, Dante? Can are you here? No, maybe you are out. Monica,
I'm here.
will you
There
Sorry.
he
ever?
is.
Okay, Dante, will you ever get a Bruce Wayne without the Batman for your collection?
No.
But you like the base, right?
No.
The soap. The
Well,
base looks like a soap.
okay. It is. This one is kind of tough because if I'm gonna get this, I'm not gonna get it by himself. That's for sure. It has to be both. So if I'm gonna get this thing, I'm probably gonna go with the all-in uh package, whatever. Just because you need to have it both, right? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me to have just Bruce Wayne by itself. Now, one thing I can see many collectors do is to pick up, not up unintended Monica too. What they can do is they can probably get the Batman with the head sculpt, which looks badass to me. The one with the black eyes,
Mm-hmm.
that one looked really good. I can see a lot of people going that route instead of getting the Tupac now. But if you are a hardcore DC fan, if you love this movie very much, I mean, this is a good option. I think Inart is making it clear, is going top notch, is going all in, and is going pricey. So this is gonna be the difference, I think, between Hot Toys and Inart. They want to be here. So let's see how this turns. Let's see how the Joker turns, Pennywise, and the other figures to have a more realistic approach and say, okay, in person, in hand looks this way compared to the prototype. I'm confident, right? But so far, I'm very happy what I see. I kind of knew that they will not include many accessories simply because Hot Toys pretty much killed it with accessories. I mean, they including a bunch of things. So it makes sense to me that they are putting more those little cards and and some batarangs and
Confetti, paper mache.
very right, very few accessory wise, right? But they are pretty much telling you, hey, you're gonna pay for the quality, you're gonna pay for the likeness, you're gonna pay for the rooted hair. So this is what we're going for. Accessories, it's kind of consistent with so far with all the announcements they had. They didn't have many accessories, and it's understandable.
No,
But
I think in
I'm okay with this.
somehow in art they like a lot. They like to make like paper accessories. With Pennywise, they also do the map,
Right,
something like that.
dude.
But
I
these
can do. I can
accessories,
print it
they are
myself
not
and cut
they
it.
are not substantial for a figure.
It's just
I
easy
think, in
filler
my
for them,
opinion,
right? It's cheap to
yeah.
produce, and they could just throw it in the picture, and it looks like more stuff than it really is technically.
Right, right. But one thing I'm noticing, and this is seems to be a pattern now. I mean, the base is rounded, circle,
Hmm.
so that's
Hmm.
good for display purposes. It's excellent because it doesn't take much space. If it's square or in a weird like diamond shape, it takes more and more space. Now, it seems to be magnetic here, so I don't see so you can pretty much put your figure on top of it and display it the way you want. The body looks very accurate to the movie. I mean, we know that Patterson is really not that beefy guy, so he looks pretty much good
I
in
don't like
terms
the
of.
pose, to be honest. But I
It's
don't
a
know.
very
This
simple pose,
pose is
but
very
but here
strange.
they're telling you a lot. They're telling you that the articulation is actually very accurate too, because you can actually put the arms very close to him.
Yeah.
So it's not
Okay.
gonna be like this. It's gonna be very close. So those little details you kind of like need to dissect before pre-ordering this thing. But overall, I'm very happy with this. The head sculpt looks
And
fantastic.
just let me catch you here and ask you about Mario El Profesoro. You make a good question. Do you think the cape is so short? I don't remember from the movie.
Yeah, the cape is quite short. Normally, the
It's
cape
short.
should be just a bit above the heel, just a bit
Okay.
above the heel. It's
Okay.
definitely short.
It's short. Okay. Yeah, it seems a bit short indeed. No doubt. But Monica, I know.
Hmm.
What's your thoughts about this Batman when you, for example, I don't know if you pre-order the if you pre-order the Hot Toys one.
Yeah, I already
What?
pre-ordered the Hot Toys one. I plan to
Okay.
get a second one so I can put a second one on the bike. And I was
Mm-hmm.
actually interested to see if this would be a good option for me to put on the bike. But now that
Mm-hmm.
I see that, I mean, it's basically a statue based on what they're showing me. I don't see any movement or anything, so I don't know if I can put this on a bike. So it looks super accurate. The proportions look fantastic. The suit, the the section on the ab is way more accurate than the Hot Toys one.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if there's any pictures showing it. The batarang, it seems the batarang doesn't come off from the
Let me.
chest.
I think I have that.
Like the
I
Hot
think
That's a
Toys
good
one comes
point.
off.
I didn't see any. I mean, I didn't see that picture, but I think
I
even
took
if it
this.
is not for now, I think it's gonna.
And then he doesn't have the, I don't know, what is it, a contraption on his right arm, like the Django gun. It's not
Mm-hmm.
here, but it's there in the Hot Toys one. And the base, I think the base is a joke, an absolute joke. Like that looks like a biscuit.
Damn, you went straight to the gun, my friend.
Looks
Hey,
like a biscuit.
look at the bright side. It's magnetic.
Yeah, I get it's
But
magnetic, but like
do they
the Hot
mention
Toys
that
has a diorama
it's
base.
magnetic? I don't see anywhere. Do they mention that? I never
I
read
haven't seen
those.
that
The
yet.
guy at the bottom
Yeah.
is Riley. Look at that.
What up? What's up,
Sorry,
everyone?
Riley here with us.
What's
I
up?
know you are excited about this, right, Riley? But
Oh
before
yeah,
I go
for
with
sure.
you, I need to pass through Marco.
Yeah.
Marco, are you going to pre-order this? If for let's say it's a 3-day pre-order window, are you going into this or not?
Yeah, so first of all, it's a pleasure to be a pass through before Riley goes. So that's an honor by itself.
Wow.
There's way too many SKUs for this one or SKUs. I'm really like confused on which way I want to go. I do already have the Hot Toys one with the bat signal on order. So I kind of always thought like hopefully they do a single pack and I can just get the Batman by itself. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I don't think I need the rooted hair for this version either, right? It looks good, but I don't think I need to pay the premium for the rooted since
But
that's
now
normally not even
let
my
me
style.
stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. In 1/6 kit and uh, here you have two prices: 1/6 kit and Toys Wonderland. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's talk about the premium, not the all-in-one. You have it $500 with shipping. Okay. Inside show, if you want to get the Batman, the Hot Toys one, that comes with the bat signal, the super duper deluxe one,
Yeah,
is at 520. I
I
think
think
is
it's
the
515 or 520. Yeah.
515. That's right. So if you want to get here the Batman, the Bruce Wayne, and the bat signal, you are talking about $990 from 1/6 kit. These are already shipping, but you can get it from let me see, Toys Wonderland, the retailer. This is let me give a shout out to Bob Dylan because he did this work and sent to me. This retailer has a controversial reputation. Okay, this we all know. Batman, Bruce Wayne, and the Bat Signal are 881 or 1101 for first batch. Is I think it's when you look at the prices that the things get a bit tricky.
Hmm.
Because when I look at these prices, I think that the Hot Toys one is almost the best bang for your buck,
No doubt about it.
right?
Yeah, no, I think
Because you get a lot of stuff there.
you do, but I do feel, and this kind of sounds crazy to say, but I feel like 990 for two figures and a bat signal isn't the worst price ever. I kind of assumed it would be a lot more. So compared to what we're getting with the Joker, it feels, at least semi-competitively priced to the Hot Toys version. Obviously, it's significantly more, but it's at least in that, range where it's like, okay, you're getting Batman and Bruce Wayne and the rooted hair. So
But
I
let me
just don't
tell
think
you
I
one
need to.
thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you see the base that you get with the Hot Toys one?
Yeah,
It's
kind of
not a circular base.
it's
That
kind of
base
modular as well, right? You can kind of
Yeah,
do
it's
some
not a
other
biscuit.
custom.
It's not a biscuit. Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah, so it's a significantly nicer base, but I was kind of in the same boat as Monica where I was like, I'm going to get the bike, I'm going to get, the deluxe Hot Toys version. So I kind of want one more Batman to pose with those other accessories. So it feels like the single pack, although it is not, super, super cheap, but I think 380, right, shipped from a 1/6 kit. That feels like an appropriate price and something that I'd be comfortable with.
Well,
And
the Batman, the standard one, right?
the Batman standard by itself, because I just think the Bruce Wayne, the Bruce Wayne character wasn't that impressive in the movie anyways. So I don't know that I need that representation in the collection. So I think the standard by itself, more than enough for me. And I thank Queen Studios for doing these kind of single packs. So you kind of have a more affordable version, but I still do think there are way too many SKUs of this. Like it's just confusing and it kind of
it's
makes
very
you think
confusing.
twice.
Very confusing. Riley, I know you were waiting for this, and
For sure.
you were the first one I sent the photos. When I saw the photos, I sent to you firsthand.
I know you did.
No,
it,
what do you
it- I
think
mean,
about this?
I mean, it's really awesome. The one thing that I think everyone has addressed, I think they could have kind of done the base a little bit more justice. I feel like that was one thing that was kind of a miss for me. I feel like they kind of did that with Gandalf, where it was kind of just like a plain just base. And what we had with Joker, it was crazy. Like they had like the metal, the wood floor. Like I feel like this is more just like kind of a step down, but I mean, maybe that was just intended. They kind of want to make it like a museum-esque type of figure to it just looks like kind of a museum standard. It looks awesome. I'm all for it. I'm probably going to order one. I think I would go the premium because to me, I feel like the standard's 380 and the premium with the rooted hair is 500. So you're basically paying 120 for rooted hair. I feel like you might as well just put in that extra chunk of change to just get the rooted version.
Stop it, Riley. Stop enabling me, please. All right.
I'm
You've
sorry,
already made
Marco.
me-
Enabling people.
I heard
This
you
guy.
talking about the standard. I'm like, come on, you can't. You got to go all in on Inart.
Here we go again, man.
It's just like Joker.
Bad boys.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. But it looks awesome. I'm happy with how it turned out. But yeah, like I said, the base, the accessories, they're pretty good. But you kind of explained like how like they do a lot of like paper accessories. I mean, I don't see why we needed like 9 different paper cards. I feel like most of them are just gonna lie in the box. But I mean, it's end of the day, it's still nice to have them. And I mean, the price, I was gonna say, like, I think this specific announcement from Inart is very competitive because from previous ones that we've gotten, a lot of people have been mixed, like, it's a little overpriced, it's a little crazy. But I think for this specific one, it's gonna be a little bit more competitive when it comes to other companies, and especially when you look at the Pennywise. That was one where like people were saying like, oh, it's so unjustified. You're getting like 3 accessories, etc. But this one, I feel like it's a little bit better. You're getting a little bit more for what you're paying. So I think I'm going to end up going for the Batman premium. I don't think I'll do it's hard because I did want to do the all-in because it would be nice to just collect all of it and get it all. But I don't know if I need the Bruce Wayne that badly. So I think I'll just do Batman.
With the Batman premium, what does he have the head sculpt, right?
Yeah, it's just the rooted hair. Yeah, with the black makeup. Yeah.
Black makeup. Yeah.
But that's $500, you know.
Yeah.
And it comes with the back computer as well, right?
Oh,
yeah, you
okay.
get a
So
computer.
$500 is okay.
For
Yeah,
a
it's
computer.
totally fine now. Totally justified.
You can install some software there, and then you can play.
Right.
But I mean, the thing is, Hot Toys did a bunch of announcements for this figure, right, for Batman. So we got
Yeah.
many options there, and actually all of them were pretty good, pretty solid, right, in terms of accessories, likeness. They revised the figure, kind of anticipating of what's gonna happen within art, and everyone welcomed that, even myself. I mean, I think it looks really good. Now, we knew that Inart will not incorporate many accessories. We knew that for a fact because there's really nothing else left that they can do, right? Only a few accessories here and there, and that's it. And they did. Look what we got, right?
Right.
Now, Headscope, I think we can agree that it looks freaking amazing. I mean, the Headscope looks really good. You know, again, this is a prototype, so I'm always cautious. I want to see the final product, but right now, in terms of money, I do agree with Riley. I will definitely go with the premium one, right? I don't think I'm gonna need the bad signal because I'm probably gonna get that one with Hot Toys. With Hot Toys, I'm
Mm.
probably gonna go all in for that one. But this one, I'm gonna get it so I can compare it with the Hot Toys one. And Bruce
Right.
Wayne is a good character. My camera turned off and everything fell.
I heard something fall. Oh man.
And while Dante gets his stuff back together, can I say one other consideration for Batman collectors that's going through my mind? Inart's also going to be doing a Christian Bale version and a Batfleck version, the kind of in their first wave of figures. And so for me, it's like I kind of really like those versions as well. So I have a hard time going all in on this, knowing that there's a lot more Batman around the corner. So just something I'm
It's a
considering.
good point. And I mean, this is like 1,000 for one. So if you're getting multiples, it's gonna add up.
Adds up
Be a
really,
lot.
really quick, right? Because
Yeah.
Christian Bale, if they do like an amazing, because now that's a Bruce Wayne that I really want, right? And so that's
Yeah.
one I could maybe justify the $1,000 on.
Right. Right.
Yeah, you are right, because here it's like we talked before when happened with the Joker, and now with this one the same. We are looking at, they want to push you to the 2-pack and give you that $1,000 bill, and it's
What's the release date on
it's
this?
it's 990, Monica. The 2-pack.
No, the release date.
I don't.
Quarter 2/23 is what I saw.
Quarter two.
Really?
So, wait.
Q2.
Yeah, that's
No,
pretty.
so it's
pretty good.
it's the same time as Gandalf and Pennywise.
I believe so. That's what I saw on 1/6 kit at least, unless it's been updated.
It's a pretty good turnaround. Yeah,
Makes sense. They have just 4 figures on the burners, so it's not a big
that's
deal.
true.
That's true. That's true. That's one thing that's the maybe the only thing they have in their advantage is that they don't have a lot of figures, and they can schedule the production time well. And but I mean, now we have Batman, Gandalf, Pennywise, Joker, 4 figures in a pre-order stages from a company that never released a 1/6 scale figure, and this is important, right? Because
Sure.
they never released the 1/6 scale figure, and
Right.
we are all betting in the dark.
I mean,
in some way.
one thing that I'm kind of concerned about is that I feel like a lot of the photos that Inart show, they're not like super dynamic poses, and I feel like we've had like no word on like
Joker-
how posing is gonna be.
Joker,
Yeah.
Gandalf, Pennywise a bit more, but Joker,
That's true.
Gandalf, Batman, they are all very static poses.
Right. Even like right here, I mean, I feel like most of them is just him, just his arms just down, like they're not really showing anything. So it's
Yeah,
interesting to think
it's
about.
a difference because Hot Toys, they really show you those
Right.
dynamic poses.
what it can do.
There's a lot
Right.
of a lot of poses that Hot Toys show, but in art they are always very cautious with the poses they show in their figures.
Yeah, it's like very simplistic. I feel like I don't know. I feel like we didn't get a lot of photos even like of like close-ups and stuff. I feel like there was just a lot of minimal like photos being shown for this one, but I don't know.
You know, this morning in here in Chinatown, I messaged John from Queen Studios that was in collecting weekly, and he toured many streams. I asked him for any photos that he could even send to me, and he told me that Viper was still approving the photos to be shown and to release today. So these were the photos that Viper approved for
I don't
being
see
released.
any movement in the legs. All I see is
Yeah,
the
there
elbow.
is no movement, right? There is
Yeah.
this is static pose.
Yeah,
I mean, in
just-
fairness, this is a pose that he did like at least 60% of the movie, just walking
That's
around,
true.
very brooding, arms down, right? So they have captured that a little bit. Thanks for bringing me in, by the way. Sorry I'm late, guys. Good to see everybody here.
Of course. So
And
Quick take on this for you.
you start to talk without me welcoming you. I need to
That's
tell
okay.
you.
I'm used to it. I'm gonna say you have to interject. You know? Good to see you. Good to see you guys.
It's my
Um,
fault.
No, it's all good. Not at all. I think for me, I'm with you guys on this. If I'm gonna pull the trigger on this, it's gonna be the premium. I do like the fact that you get a lot of stuff with that premium option. The rooted hair, I think that they seem to be, at least in their photos, showing some pretty awesome rooted hair. You know, with their Joker, and now with their Pennywise, and now with this guy. So, assuming that the production comes out as well as the protos, I think that will look really, really good, and honestly still set the Inart apart from some of the Hot Toys releases that we've seen in the past. I think one of the challenges that I have, and you guys have kind of hit this on the head already, is that, well, twofold. So for me, I wouldn't get the Bruce Wayne pack, mostly because Bruce Wayne in the film, it wasn't about Bruce Wayne. It was about the Batman, right? And so there's a lot of criticism in that film that, Bruce Wayne didn't have much of an appearance, didn't have a ton of story in the background. But again, it was kind of like year one, year two Batman. So for me, I think of that film and I think of him in the suit or him with the cowl off, but not necessarily running around in his suit jacket. And I do think that we are going to get other Batman movies, obviously, and we're going to get to see Bruce Wayne again. In fact, maybe we'll see more of a story with Bruce Wayne, which will allow for more releases down the line. So I wouldn't be necessarily tempted to get the 2-pack, but I do think that for me, this film was iconic enough to want to have this in my display. My debate with myself is that I know kind of what Hot Toys delivers in terms of quality. I still don't know. I've still gambled on that Joker, and I'm still waiting to find out whether we're going to get burned or not. I don't think we will. It would be too rough of a gamble. Like, can you imagine, like, the community? If that Joker comes out and it doesn't look freaking bang on for what they're showing, there's going to be riots in the streets. And all of these
Sure,
releases will
riots.
then these releases will crash. They'll crash, and that'll just be it. The trust will be gone. So it is a gamble, but I don't think it's that much of a gamble because I don't think that they could honestly justify having anything subpar coming out. But because this is a statue company, I wonder if that's why we're not seeing a lot of the posability of the figures. They're more used to sculpting for statue versus articulated 6-scale. So for me, I think if... Go ahead.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, so for me, I think if I do pull the trigger on it, it'll be the premium, but I'm also still kind of waiting to find out. I don't think I'll get sucked in by any kind of a release window at this point. I really want to have that Joker in hand first before I pull the trigger, because I do think that the Hot Toys release is good enough that if I ended up settling on the Hot Toys one, I don't think I'd be disappointed.
No, but my question is, I didn't read all the description on these figures, but if you guys did they mention is everything magnetic again with the ends and everything? I didn't check.
I don't think that the hands are magnetic because there's one photo of Bruce Wayne where you can see his like hand. You actually can see like a peg, like there's a wrist peg. So I don't think it's going to be magnetic wrist. I don't know where the
for sure.
Yeah, it's not seamless, that's for sure. I don't remember which photo it was, but they definitely show that it's not going to be like magnetic. I don't think.
Can I play conspiracy theorist for a second? What if they're
Yeah, go
doing
ahead.
that because they're having issues with the Joker and those magnetic pieces?
Now you start
Just,
with
Hey.
this.
probably not. Just saying.
Who knows? Interesting to think about.
No, I don't think. I still think that if you want to talk about the Joker, when you talk about magnetics, the magnets connection, you will always be restricted at which range the magnet can go. You cannot
Right.
go all in with the magnet. You can only go until where the magnet lets you pull.
Yeah.
It's not the same as you have the Hot Toys
There's
that
surface
reset go
limitation.
up and down. It's different,
Right.
completely different. Do you agree, Monica, with this or not? I think you
Yeah,
also
because
know
there's
about it.
the surface area, right? You can't go anywhere beyond the surface area, the connection point. So, and plus the main point is we really haven't seen anything come out of this company yet. So that's really scary.
It's a good point, what she said. Yeah.
I haven't addressed the chat here yet, but let me address here. Previous known as the Mandalorian Andress, the femme fatale fete. I think Inart figures are a hybrid between a figure and a statue. I'm not looking to put Inart figures in the dynamic poses. I think most people are already preparing for this. Maybe it will just be a 1/6 scale figure that you can just give like a museum pose, not much of a dynamic pose. That's I think I think that most people are getting ready for this. Um,
But if that's really the case, they should advertise their product as such and mention it rather than, giving us a chance or opportunity to think or fantasize. Oh, maybe I could pull off this, I could pull off that. We
It's a
don't
good
know.
point. Yeah.
Well, it is implied in the 1/6 scale figure, right? Figure that is going to be articulated.
Exactly.
Now, I do agree that they should at least mention how many points of articulation, just so we have an idea. Obviously, Batman is not Spider-Man, so you're not gonna do so super crazy dynamic poses. But still, if you paint for a figure, you need to get a figure, right? Like that you can actually pose. So
Mhm.
of course, they all the so far everything that we've seen is very museum pose, nothing really dynamic, and I guess because of the characters that they've been introducing so far, right? Um, I do agree. I mean, they maybe should give us a bit more inside information about the articulation, but overall, I think this one looks pretty good.
but in your, for example, I know Dante that you went with a Joker with a non-rooted one. With this one, you will go with what? With the super hypers deluxe collector super the edition. I don't because it's so difficult
All
to
in.
say.
I will go
Is
for
the
whatever
Batman
Riley is gonna go.
All right. Then go all in. 1,000.
Riley will go all in because
I don't know. I don't know if I will though, because I don't know if I need Bruce Wayne. I don't think I need him. But I don't know. Maybe it would be nice.
I'm gonna go with the all-in one. I'm gonna do the review. I'm gonna tag Riley in every video,
Yep.
every picture, and then he's
Yep.
gonna be like, "Oh shit! You know what? Let me get the all-in one."
That's what you're gonna do. It's gonna work.
Just enable you for like 100%.
Oh
Like,
my
you know what? I'm
God.
gonna do this. Like,
It's gonna happen.
it's kind of strange because in these kind of figures, for example, do you really need a Bruce Wayne for this Batman? I don't know.
I mean, I
I
think
would.
some people will be happy with it, but I think it's the consensus is that kind of like what Ben said, like most of the story was just about Batman, so I think people will end up like gearing towards that. While like Bruce Wayne he wasn't it, but like he wasn't. It wasn't really his story arc.
I
So,
feel like
so let me ask you: if they give you a Batman and the Riddler together, a two pack, wouldn't you choose these two pack
You
instead
know
of a Bruce Wayne?
what I'd rather do would be a Batman and Catwoman.
There
That
we
would have been
go.
perfect because you
Or a
got the bat and the
Catwoman?
cat.
Okay, or a
That would have been
Catwoman.
perfect. I think that one honestly probably would have sold more. I think that would have been better personally.
She's too beautiful to capture in plastic like this. I don't know.
Let's not talk about that third party because that was
Oh my
No,
goodness.
no,
that was a mistake. All
And I will
over.
say, I think that this Bruce Wayne exists for two reasons. Number one, for them to differentiate from the Hot Toys release, and also for them to kind of flex their tailoring skills. Right, that was like one of the
Yeah.
first things they showed off was look how beautiful this suit and kind of coat is. And so, yeah, I'm kind of with Riley though. I don't know that I need a Bruce Wayne just yet, and I know Ben said that as well.
honestly, anyone who is skilled enough can easily just make a Bruce Wayne figure themselves since you're getting the extra head sculpt. Put on the biker suit. Put on the biker suit on
100%.
a 1/6 scale body and put on the head sculpt with the helmet and the hand. You're done. You
I
got
have
your
to
boy.
say, I'm not skilled enough to do that, but no, I do like that.
Yeah, maybe not.
No, exactly. But I understand your point, Marco. But if you have a head sculpt, you can get a body to fit with the Batman, and you can
Mhm.
get a suit from maybe DJ Custom or any other companies. They do that those suits.
There you
and
go.
you can have your Bruce Wayne there. You don't need to spend the extra 400 or something
Yeah,
dollars
exactly.
on a Bruce Wayne.
Well, like, and I hate to say it, but I think what would have differentiated this for me from the Hot Toys more so is if this had been like a limited release or a numbered release. I think the fact that Queen Studios or Inart is coming in and giving us very similar options, very similar accessories, the bat signal, like the Batman himself, the Bruce Wayne, they all look really good, but they're putting us in this position as collectors to try and choose whether we, are we Hot Toys boys or are we Inart boys? Are we somewhere in between? Do we need to buy both? Why should we buy both? Should we justify spending the extra money? Like, anybody that walks into my collection and looks at my DX11 Joker from 10 years ago goes, wow, it's Heath Ledger on your shelf. Like, huh,
Yeah.
right? And nobody else knows the difference except for the people who collect these, right? And so, if you took all the labeling off and you took all of everything away and you just put the figures up side by side and you said what one would be your choice, it would be like choosing Pepsi and Coke to me. Some are better, some are worse. There's some minor things that I like more, but there's some things that I like a little bit less. So how do you make the choice? If it was a limited release, if there was numbers on these, I know for at least some collectors, guys like John and Collecting Weekly, who despises reissues. Inart has not said that they're not going to reissue these in the future. So,
Yeah.
At some point, if they need an influx of cash in their business again, I can totally see them coming out with all of the options that they've put out recently, unless, of course, they were numbered. That way, I think I could justify it. I could be a limited collector and say, I want every Inart because I know when I look at it, it's limited, it's exclusive. There's something more to it than just what we see with Hot
That's a good
Toys.
point. That's a good point. And you know what? Just to piggyback on your point, Ben, that's actually a pretty good point. I think one of the reasons why they didn't do it yet is because they're still new to the 1/6. I actually want to see Hot Toys doing that. I want to see Hot Toys doing more
Yes, sir.
limited edition number
Yes,
ones.
sir.
Then, as soon as they do that, I can guarantee you, I can put all my money there that Inart will start doing the same thing. Because once it's limited, you put a number in it. People, whoever, depending on the character, right? For a fact that will not be a reissue, right? It's a limited edition, is numbered, right? It's exclusive for that particular run. Now, I do think that probably Inart will do that in the future, but I think because they're just too new, and the only, I guess, credit line they have right now is that they do really good statues. But other than that, that's it, right? 1/6, we don't know. Even though everything we've seen so far is really good, right? But again, those are prototypes, right? We need to finish. We need to see when we have the finished product in hand. With Hunters, we already have that type of credit already because we know what they can deliver. And sometimes, even if the prototype doesn't look that great, we can still say, you know what? They have plenty of time. They have like a year and a half to do it. I think they're gonna fix it. They're gonna correct it, and they've done it so far, right? Yeah. Some some instances we can argue that, like the Tony Stank, for example, that was totally way different from the prototype to the final product. But I do think that probably because they're new, they're not doing limited. But I can see in the future that they're probably gonna do that. But I can see more Hot Toys starting that thing because the way they do it. That's why they're not doing reaches now. They're doing 2.0s. They taking away some stuff, adding new accessories, improving some bodies, improving something in there, so people who own the figure in the first place, they don't feel like, wait a second, really? They don't feel like they're just being ignored because they got the first release. So I think we're
Right.
gonna see a lot of changes. Everything that's happening right now is gonna be waves. We're gonna see a bunch of things coming, a bunch of things going away. I think I can see that we're gonna get more DX, which we pretty much getting more DXs now. So I do think that in the future we're gonna get more limited run.
Well, and I think
Let
it's
me
also.
just
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I'll be quick. I was gonna say I think it's just a be careful what you wish for type of thing as well, because I'm also a budget collector. I can't afford to just pull the trigger on absolutely every release that I think is cool all the time. And one of the challenges that I have with limited releases or numbered items is that if scalpers get their hands on it, if people can buy it or afford to buy it before I can get it, then you might miss out on some really cool stuff. And so it is definitely still also a be careful what you wish for. I want to be able to own all of the things that I want to be able to own in the future. that might take me a year or two to be able to save for all those things. But we've also always said this is a more of a premium collecting hobby, right? And we also have to know when to pull the trigger and when to be willing to miss a couple options. And this again could be one of those ones that I'm willing to miss if Hot Toys is in my opinion almost just as good.
And sorry, I just wanted to say one last thing on the 2.0 conversation, and this is a cheeky comment, but as was said earlier, there's going to be another movie likely coming out. We're probably going to get 2.0 versions of all of these figures anyway, so it's something that time will rectify.
Just to add, Ben, to your point you were talking about, John, and because I have listening so many for years listening to him, and I kind of understand his position
Poor
because
guy.
when you are collecting hot toys for so many years, he was collecting hot toys for so long time, and in his opinion, he doesn't like so much the reissues, okay? Because let's say he got the I don't know which was I know he have, for example, the Michael Jackson figures. Those were long. Those were released a lot of time ago, and you all know that he doesn't open the figures. He just keep them in the box. He
That's
preserves the
blasphemy.
figures. Preserve the figures as wine. As he said one time.
That literally does the opposite.
It makes worse, right, Monica? Because if you let the figures in the box, they will
That's a dumbass move.
deteriorate
Holy shit.
faster than outside.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a kind of many people like this. Many people they don't open the figures. They just keep them in the boxes and so
It's
on.
basically dust now inside the box.
I
It's
don't know.
literally dust.
Yeah, because some figures they do deteriorate faster inside the box than if they are exposed to the outside.
Yeah, but it all
Yeah.
depends where you
Yeah,
started too.
agree.
You know, if you put it in the
Yeah.
basement or in the attic with no AC on, of course, you're gonna when you
melt.
take it out, you're gonna see just the clothing and just the melted figure.
Let me introduce here one more good friend of the channel, Shane,
Hey, Joel.
Mr. Clean Man. How are you?
Hiya, I am Shame.
You have
Hear
no
me
shame,
roar.
right? You have no shame.
Yeah.
Thank you
How
so
are-
much for coming in. How are you?
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem.
And how does this Inart Batman sounds to you? You have any thoughts already, or is everything coming too fast?
Wait a second. Are there photos of the Inart on the internet now?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I
Okay.
hadn't seen any today.
Yeah, no one's
Oh, yeah.
posted about it.
Oh,
What the
yeah.
heck?
You had me. I
Yeah.
thought you were serious. I was like,
I know. I thought it was too.
Yeah, that's the Irish dry humor, I think. Yeah,
or Canadian gullible.
think I've yeah, exactly. Maybe it is. Yeah, I think I've saved $1,000 to be honest. I think this company, the best thing I've seen out of them so far, based on the images so far of the Pennywise, the Gandalf, the Inart Joker, and the Inart Batman, is still the Inart Joker. It doesn't look bad, but first impressions to me, I'm just kind of like, no, I think I'm gonna go and stick with that Hot Toys one. In terms of like the price gap, I think there's better value in the Hot Toys one, to be honest. It doesn't look bad, but you know me, Joao, like I see a civilian and I go, no. So it's like it's like I don't know, if I'm something on my shelf, I want something a bit more from the imagination, something otherworldly, science fiction, superheroes, comic book, even like the Dark Knight Bruce Wayne, which like I've seen loads of them, they look amazing, like, but I just don't tend to lean towards them. That's my favorite trilogy. So this, I was always going to be a bit biased away from it, and like me and Marco, I think we're on the exact same page in terms of the movie. We probably don't see eye to eye on this particular figure, but the movie, we're reluctant to say excellent. I would say it's like very, very good in my opinion. Don't think it's still at the Dark Knight standard. I know they're different films, but I'm just giving my opinion. I think it's probably a 4-star out of 5 movie in my opinion. I thought it was very good. I'm actually going to watch it again tonight. But maybe
with
with
this
that in
movie, The
mind-
Batman.
Yeah.
You're watching again?
Oh, I'm not going to the cinema. You know, I have like it's
even
on
even if you watch in home,
You're gonna
take a
fall asleep like
blanket,
Joao.
take a
Yeah.
blanket with you because you will fall asleep.
Jesus.
No, I already watched it once today. I'm going to watch it again. No, look, it's I did enjoy the movie, but I mean, I think if I'm going in the Inart train, it's got to be something that like ticks all the boxes for me. And I saw the photos today, and I went, nah, I can do without it. Like I'm
I
happy enough
understand your
going for
point.
that.
If you were, let's say, if you were to get one from Inart, you would get like the Batman Premium, something like that. Nothing. You will not get the Bruce Wayne, right?
I won't be getting anything. I won't be getting either of them, I don't think, man. My initial impressions were the dude looks very skinny.
But did you pre-order the Hot Toys one, or you are still waiting to see the final product?
No, I pre-ordered Hot Toys one. I did, yeah. For the simple reason that I was looking, I spoke about this a load of times, that I've got a pre-order list which is shrinking, which is good, but a wish list which is increasing, which is bad. So I had to trim some of that fat. So I just picked the most expensive thing on it like about a month or two ago, and actually we got about 2 months ago, and I just pre-ordered that, like, so I don't get stung all the time.
You
But,
pre-ordered the Hot
it looks
Toys
good.
one, that edition with the bat signal, with the
Yeah,
base,
Yeah.
the super.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a collector's edition. What's what they call that? Is
I think it's just a deluxe version, really, because they had
you
the
know the name,
signal on its
Monica?
own.
What's the name of the edition with everything? I don't know the name. Yes,
It's the deluxe.
you know the Hot Toys one.
I think Shane's right. Deluxe.
So Hot
It's
Tops
the
is
deluxe with bat signal.
Deluxe
It's
with
Deluxe?
bat signal.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had the signal on its own, the regular, the deluxe on its own, then the deluxe with bat signal. And I know what you say. You'll have nothing to pair it with. Like, that's a valid argument. Like, I'd love a Zoe Kravitz Batman, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Might even get a Riddler. But like, I think on the shelf, when you have the signal, because the signal was like a character in this movie, that's enough pairing. But back to Inart anyway. I think their signal might be better. There's a lot more rust going on. I gotta say that. I gotta hand them that. Like, the first thing I noticed was rust, and I just love things that are dirty. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like
Actually,
That sounds hella
let
sad.
me catch you here because Femme Fatale Fetish, she said that the Inart backed signal has rust and weathering. The Hot Toys one version looks too clean.
I think I would agree. Compared to the photo, the piece I'm seeing here, the images I've seen from Inart earlier on, and the images of the Hot Toys one. But yeah, look,
No.
it's still good. It's still good. I
feel
don't know. I was a bit underwhelmed or something. to be
Normal
honest, but-
pictures for the Hot Toys one is just too dark to make anything out. And plus,
But
I
it's cool
have
because
the,
you can get the signal on its own by itself, right?
Yeah.
So
And-
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
companies, yeah.
And another thing
amazing.
is, like, the Hot Toy signal has movement and motion and all that stuff. It's specified just because I have the Hot Toys Dark Knight Bat signal, and it's got like a really good rust paint job.
Yeah,
on
I
it.
have
So
it
think
too.
This one's gonna have it.
Yeah, I have it too, and it's really have rest on that, and you have movement, and it's huge. That
It's
thing is
massive.
huge.
I will say I saw that bat signal at Comic-Con, and I was kind of not prepared for how large it is, but it does
No,
look
it's
really great.
it's big. It's really
It's
big.
you
Yeah,
went
oh
to
my
Comic Con?
gosh. Yeah, I know. First,
You did?
I'm really sharing it
know
with
that.
everyone,
It's the
but
first time I've heard that.
You went to Comic Con? You went?
yeah, right. I've been trying to keep it a secret, but no. But I think Hot Toys will counter. I think they'll update the paint applications on their version, and it already looks really good. So I'm sure at final product it'll be more than serviceable.
Can I guess? Sorry, you go on, Ben.
I was going to say a quick that I think the bat signal was more of a character in the film than Bruce Wayne actually was. They go back to that bat signal at least 5 different times. It's a way better pairing character, in my opinion.
Plus,
Can I guess?
so- Go ahead.
Can I guess like who's getting? Can I go through the panel and guess who's getting and who's not? Because like I just literally dipped in. I was doing something. Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Go on.
Marco, you're getting something. I'm guessing you're going all out and getting Batman, Bruce Wayne, and the Bat Signal.
The more I hear Riley talk, and the more Dante enables Riley, maybe. But for now, I'm kind of stuck on the let's see, the normal edition, the non-premium edition of the Batman by itself.
Oh, right. So the cheaper Batman on its own.
That's kind of where I'm going, only because I have the Hot Toys
Gotcha.
version, the high-end deluxe version
Okay.
already pre-ordered as
Um,
well.
Riley, I'm guessing you're going all out on this.
It's hard. I'm the same thing with Marco. I mean, it's as much as I love this film, it's tough because I want to get the Batman Premium, which is 500, and then I wanted to get the Bat Signal, which is like 180, I think. So it comes out at like 680 for both. But then if you add if you add the extra 300, you're getting just everything. So that's just why it just always comes back to I'm like, oh, like should I? I feel like if I do like spend that much, you might as well just go all out. That's what I did with the Joker, and then but I don't know because it's just like an extra 300. And do I need a Bruce Wayne? And I don't want to get like I don't want to have.
Can
like
I give you an option? Can I give you an option? You can get the Batman, the Bat Signal, and then with the Batman you have the head sculpt. Maybe you will spend around maybe $500, and then you get the body. You get a suit for the head
Sounds
sculpt.
Like a lot of
maybe
work.
you that's the work you don't want to do because you can have everything maybe for $600 or so.
Dante, can I ask a question? Can you zoom in on the Bruce Wayne sculpt? Does he have the the war paint under his
What
eyes
you are
on this
asking,
version?
Dante?
Yeah, he
It's
does.
my I'm the host.
Yeah, it's
not you.
Joao.
Oh, sure. Wow. Sorry.
Come on.
I meant to. Oh my God. Sorry. That was real bad.
You always have
on
a
my
half awake, half sleep, half awake.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Marco did that on purpose just to annoy Joao.
Yeah.
Now I could
But he
I
has
could
that
call
shot.
Joao
Mario,
other
it's
names to
Mario.
piss him off. You
He
did
has
call me
that
Mario
shot,
that
yeah.
one time, so I had to give you some feedback.
But what do you want to see?
No, I'm just
No,
curious. Does the head sculpt have the war paint? with
Yeah, it has the
with single
paint,
version?
but the
Okay.
Bruce Wayne one doesn't have the paint on.
doesn't have the paint.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, but the Batman does.
You want to zoom in? No, sorry, my
He's got
computer
it.
just go as far
No,
as
you're good. I think Riley
Are
answered
we-
the question.
Yeah.
Are what you're trying to say though, Marco, is that head sculpt might look a little bit funny on like a Bruce Wayne kit bash if he's
So
got
it
war
works
paint
for
Oh,
the
yeah.
Riddler
It's
version,
perfect.
right?
Just put it on a biker costume with the helmet.
Put him on a bike.
You're right, Mark.
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
Drifter version, that's the way to do it. Like you could totally
Good
make a
point, though.
kit
Yeah,
bash
you
with
can't
it.
really get the Bruce Wayne with that. So yeah, it's true.
Is anyone going all out and getting the deluxe versions? Everything with the kitchen sink, with the signaling. Anyone on the panel actually committing to all that stuff?
Dante. Is,
I'm
Dante.
actually
He's
thinking, so I can tag
gonna enable
Riley
me.
in every single picture and video. So
He's gonna say this is
so
Bruce
he
Wayne.
can
It's
feel
just- you
miserable if
can't
he
miss
doesn't
out
get
on
it.
Bruce Wayne. You need it. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah. So you're going all out, Dante. You're getting everything. The big Bertha, no? Or you haven't?
Well,
You're still thinking.
This is the thing. Like, I want to get the other version, the one in the middle, the premium one without Bruce Wayne. I think, well, not this one, but the premium one.
Mhm.
Because I'm thinking. I mean, I don't really need Bruce Wayne, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But I don't know. So I mean,
Yeah.
I still have time to decide. So I'm not gonna, rush it. But
Another
if I
thing is
I
that-
do get all in, I'll definitely like tag my friend Riley on that one.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised by that. But I was gonna say, like, I feel like a lot of the accessories, even when you're getting the dual pack, like it's kind of the same thing. You're just getting like Riddler cards. So I feel like I don't think that it's justified enough for me to just go all out and get everything. With the Joker, it was more like getting the amazing base. You're getting like the weaponry, the grenades, the money, all this cool stuff. I feel like with this one, it's a little trickier because I mean they can't really do much more. It's Batman. I mean, he just has his gadgets and that's pretty much it. But I feel like most of the accessories we see here is just gonna like be in the box, to be honest. So
And it's still the best. It's still the best diorama they've done. That Joker with the bars. They haven't come close to that yet.
No, this one puts it to shame. That's what I was talking about before. Like I think one of my biggest issues was that I just feel like the base is just too plain. Like it's just a little too boring to my taste. But
It's like a
Yeah,
biscuit.
the round thing
Yeah.
here.
yeah, exactly.
Is it a manhole cover or something?
It's a biscuit.
Oversized?
It's a biscuit. That's what it is.
Bat bites.
Yeah.
Because I think they are going again with the magnets and to pose the figure without having the crotch grabber, without having anything on the way, and they are going with all the magnets. But as practical as it is, it will always limit a bit the articulation you can do and the poses you can do with the figures. I think, at least is in my opinion, this will
Right.
limit a lot what you can do with the figure.
Well, it all depends too, right? If we don't know if the magnet is going to be in this particular position where the base is, or is going to be everything magnetic. I think John said in one of the interviews we did with him that the magnetic base is going to be pretty much everywhere within the base that you can pose the figure. But I think Single Soul Rider made a good point about the magnets that over time they can they can lose their strength. I guess it needs to be kind of like recharged or something like that. I don't know, but I think it's gonna last for a little bit. I mean, I don't think it's gonna run in like a month or two. It's gonna last for a long time, I think. But and then somebody else made a good comment as well. Like if you get the one with the head sculpt and you want to kit bash it, the bodies are a bit different because now they have magnetic joints and magnetic head sculpt, for example. You may not be able to get the body that you want unless you want to go all in and
Us
really
Hot Toys buyers, no need
you
to worry
know
about that.
but I think is a good point as well.
Yeah, it's a solid point for sure.
Do you guys think this is a split cut boot design? I'm trying to see it on the Hot Toys version versus the one that we're looking at on the screen. Like, is that possibly why it's not as dynamic as well? Especially like if it is magnetized, it's likely going to need to have more of a flat foot positioning.
Because it's going
right?
to be heavy.
Yeah, it's going to be heavy.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't really tell.
Because, well,
The
again,
Hot
he
Toys
does
is a
walk
split
around in
cut.
this pose most of the movie. Like, I would say that, like, for Batman, I
Yeah.
still want to be able to pose his feet, like, a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Hard to say.
Go all in, Shane. Get it all. Get the
Get it.
1,000
No,
edition.
No, I just let me just address here. Single Songwriter is saying that all magnets will get weaker over time. That is a musician, and they have the guitars. Of course, they have magnets. If the magnets get weaker over time, I'm not. Yeah, are you worried about this? That your Joker will lose the magnets over time?
Mhm.
Now Ben is very worried about this.
I am worried about it, 100%.
He needs it
I think
to
it's
be
an amazing
perfect,
point. Well, and because, like, a wrist peg, you can swap a wrist peg, right? If it breaks or it fails, it gets loose, you can swap it. If a magnet starts to fail, how do you recharge a magnet? Or do you have to somehow pry it out and replace the like, how does that work? Or do you have to start using blue tack on your $1,000 figure? Like that, no, I don't think that that's appropriate. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So,
You just change the
100%
base.
I'm worried about it.
Right.
Change
It
the
is a
base.
good point, but I don't think it's gonna, wear off like a short time. I mean, maybe it's gonna take years, perhaps maybe decades
I
to
would
do
hope
that.
so.
I mean, I don't think
I would hope so.
I mean, again, I'm not an expert in that, so don't quote me on that. But that's a very good point too. Because you don't want to spend that much money and then have your hand falling off every time you want to put it,
No,
Well,
it,
and-
it,
and-
it,
and-
it, it all depends because, for example, I went to Dubai in 2005, and I have a magnet from Dubai in my fridge for almost 20 years and still there and still strong.
There you
So,
go.
Yeah,
There's
the
your answer.
industrial
So
market,
NR will be
though.
good. Yeah. We're all safe.
Hopefully they
let
source
me
their
address
magnets
here
from Dubai.
a super chat from Shane. You are giving a super chats. You are here on the panel.
From shame.
I joined the watch rally enable. Let's go. You need to say
Let's
that,
go.
Riley, because everyone love to listen you saying this.
I'm so tired and I'm like on like 4 hours of sleep. But I'll say let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go.
What time
Not
is it
good enough,
there,
Riley.
Riley?
Let's go. Come on.
There we
There you
go.
go.
What time is
Yeah,
it though?
loved it,
Let
loved
me
it.
just tell you one thing, son. What time is in your place now?
Oh, it's like 10:50 a.m. It's not that early, but I
AM.
went to bed
I'm
pretty
sorry to
late.
tell you that in my ear it is 2 a.m. and I'm 40
Oh,
years
snap.
old.
So you're
I'm
probably having
here.
it worse, I imagine.
And I'm here holding it strong. So don't complain with me
I'm sorry,
with your
man.
20 years
Sorry.
old with 10 a.m.
Sorry, Joao. I'm sorry.
Set them straight.
Hands are tied.
I think it is going to depend on what magnets are used. I see the chat mentioning, like, there was one person there, I think it was YGB. I
The
said, like,
magnets
there are
is
certain
gone.
there are
No
certain
one's
magnets that
talking
can last
about
like
magnets.
700 years. And like, can you imagine if you had a figure that could last that long? But just in itself, I think, I think what I compare it to in my mind's eye, and it might not be a fair comparison, but when I spent $800 to get my Mark 7 die-cast Iron Man, and I put all the batteries in for the first time. I'd never used batteries in a figure before, and the batteries died within like 6 minutes of use.
Wait,
I was
you
like,
said
that doesn't make sense to me. Like, this
800?
is such an expensive figure. Yeah, well, 800 Canadian, so it's probably like 600 American, right? But even still, I spent so much money on this figure, and he sits on the shelf turned off because the batteries don't work. I think it depends on what Inart decides to use as their quality. But I think one of the chat members mentioned it. Every time we ask John from Inart, you said it's the best materials being used. Well, what are those? He always has to go and check. If we ask him what kind of
Unicorn
batteries are going to be used, he has to go find out. If we ask him what kind of magnets are going to be used, let me check with Viper. Like, there's still so much that's like unknown that I think that for me is what worries me. I have that fear of unknown, not necessarily the fear that magnets will die. But if they put subpar magnets in $1,000 figure, well then, yeah, like the magnets on your fridge fall off. What's to say that these ones won't necessarily, right?
Yep.
Right.
And it's a great point. A great
Just to
point.
play devil's advocate here, so they did.
Yes.
I think some of the statues that they have, if not all, they're magnetic as well. And I don't own any statues, so I don't know. So I don't know if anyone in the chat owns one and had issues with the magnet. Not to say it's not. I mean, it's a very good word. It's a very good point too. And for the batteries, I do agree. Like, we ask questions and they don't really have the answer right away. It's because, again, it is new to them. But at the same time, I think if they're gonna go do this PR everywhere, they need to be more like telling you like what we ask pretty
Prepared,
much, right?
yeah.
Because it's very common sense, right? You're gonna ask, oh, what type of batteries are gonna use? Oh, you know what? It's gonna use nuclear power. Oh, perfect. This is amazing. But at least you would know. But if it's, I don't know.
Do you know, on that, like the point there, so Ben, you're saying there's a lot of unknowns, and you're absolutely right. I'd advise anyone in the chat, I'm not buying anything from this company until I see. I rolled the dice on that Joker. I pulled a Marco on it, just in case if you don't know what pulling a Marco is. That's when you do the Ruta 2-pack and the single sculpted.
You never go
I
full
rolled the
Marco.
dice. I won't roll the dice again though until I have it in hand and I'm satisfied with that price and the quality. So Ben, you're absolutely right. There's a lot of unknown now, and with this one, there isn't a 3-day window. We all know how that one worked out. So you probably
Just
don't
have
have
a 3-day
to
window.
jump on it.
Well, and like I'm in paint sales. So if I'm up against competition, okay, I don't just say I'm the best because my price is higher. I say I'm the best because I use a certain type of paint. We do a certain type of prep. There's all the things that go into it, and I'm able to sell based on what that package comes with, not just because I think I'm a better paint company. Similarly with Hot Toys versus Inart, like, think about how many live streams there are. Think about how many people are talking about this figure today. If they were just a little bit more specific about what it comes with, as a salesperson for Inart, we're doing all the work for them. We would literally advertise all of the cool shit, all of the reasons why you should choose Inart over Hot Toys because of X, Y, and Z. But because of the unknown, instead the conversation is less about you should buy this and more of a you should maybe wait. Because we don't want to even say you should buy it until we know for sure that the quality is there. And that is a fail on a new company. As a salesperson, a sales rep, like me being a sales rep, I think that that's such a miss. He could have the community sell this figure for him and barely have to show up, right? So.
And one more big unknown, we know that they're doing the Batmobile, but we don't know how posable this guy is. And apologies if this was already said, but can he even sit down inside of a Batmobile? It'd be a really tough pill to swallow or nut to swallow, Ben. Yeah,
That's true. As long as the figure
spend
can do
$1,000
this,
bucks, right?
You can put it.
Put him that way. But yeah, if you spend $1,000 on this and then he can't even go inside of a Batmobile, Lord knows how expensive that'll be.
Right.
So that's kind of something they should at least show him sitting down somewhere, so we know that he can do it.
Yeah, they miss the opportunity to give us more information. And I do agree, like we're talking about the prototype right now. So we have nothing else to back it up because nothing was released, right? With Hot Toys, we can at least argue, oh yeah, I mean, the figures usually are good, when they release it because we already had those figures. So they need to be more, specific with the details because now the same way can work if they deliver something that is horrible. Because just imagine the Joker comes out and the magnets are weak. You put the hand fall off, the body's bad, Everything else is beautiful. Hellscope is amazing. Paint application is really good. Tailoring is fantastic, but the body sucks. That's a problem right there, right? So it's gonna be. I really hope that when they do the final product, they really take their time to make sure everything works. Because one thing about the 1/6 community is that it can be, we can fall in love with a figure, but also we can trash it the next day with no freaking remorse. So they
It's
need to
true.
be very, very, very careful how they do the final products. Prototypes, we can all argue all day about differences and what we think could be better, but the final product needs to deliver, and that's the only chance they're gonna get. They're gonna say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I know we screwed up, but we're gonna fix it." Dude, you need to go like very careful. So they're aiming high, for sure. Let's see how they deliver.
Great points, dude. Great points.
Awesome.
Okay, guys. So we are going to wrap up here, and we are going to move to Riley Reviews channel in maybe 5 minutes. I will post a link here in the chat right now. I think you guys can see here the link. Because this, I was not to make a live stream with this. I was to do a pre-recorded video. But thank you so much, all of you, for coming here. Monica, thank you so much. I want to have you back. Maybe in Saturday, I want to talk you more about I want to talk more with you about hot toys.
Sure.
It's a good time for us because now is a bit late, but
Saturday is fine.
Saturday is fine, right? And Marcos, thank you so much for coming in. Ben, Dante, and guys, tune in 5 minutes or so. Riley, I would say 5
for
minutes
sure.
or so.
Right around there.
We'll
Yeah.
be over there.
5 minutes. Yeah.
5 minutes or so. I will send the link again. I'm not a bot, okay? I will send the
Appreciate
link
it.
again.
Yeah, you're
here
not a
in
booty
the
bot.
chat.
No booty bots. Yeah.
Do we know that
Just
for a fact?
tune in. We are going to go deeper into this Inart
Oh
Batman.
yeah.
But was just to talk a bit here with my friends and
It's a lot
so
of
on.
fun.
Where is Shane? Did Shane disappear?
I don't know.
His
I didn't even
food-
realize.
his food arrived. He had to jump off, but he said thanks for bringing him in.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay. So thank you guys for coming in, and I will see you maybe Saturday or something like that. And tune in
Or
to
maybe tomorrow.
Runner Reviews channel in 5 minutes. We are going all there. Go.
Let's go.